Okay, let me see how the oil works because I haven't checked it out, and we're kind of approximating a little bit. Let's say the time to really start the stream itself. So it works, it does not work. Do we have something of that sense existing here? Okay, we have it. Let me then. Here we are. Beautiful. Well, yeah, in a second, I need to add these properties. I should change it from the place that it is right now. This, this, uh-huh. This, get this here, get this over here. And so this, okay. And now let me delete it. So I assume that let me edit in the corner as I was speaking over here for this. And because we are not doing so much text coding. And okay, in a second. No, it wasn't like that. It was. Transition and well, it is kind of hard to see one of them, but the rest is kind of fine compared to the whole nothingness that we have had other times. It is better yet. So well, then we have the topics. Then we have yeah, give me a second. I forgot to give them in the chat, and that is here, but also this and this. And well, I guess that's it so far. We are amazingly fine. It took some time. It took a little bit of time to get everything ready. And we are starting very late because I also have an out of nowhere mouse. But well, ignoring every tiny problem that exists, we might as holy fuck. Will I be able to stand properly or will I have to be worried about sneezing every single minute? Fucking god, it doesn't stop anymore. What the fuck is happening to me? I guess. No, I don't have even a theory as why it is happening to me. So, I guess we will have that to deal with. Holy fuck, if it keeps happening, I will instead decide to not mute anymore, because it is already too much, even for me. Taking into account that I am sneezing because of no real reason, that I might as well stop muting out of nowhere. So we'll do this. I will count 3 more sneezes. If I sneeze 3 more times... What the fuck is happening? Anyways, aside from that, let me get a tissue so that I can what that actually both bothering me a little bit. And what? So far I have been trying to get and to see what we could do tomorrow. I don't have any clear idea at all so far, but at the same time, I am enjoying the whole experience, so to speak. It will, yeah, let me say like this. We had something planned, and I said it, I think, on the first stream of today, that we were probably going to do something, but it ended up not happening because problems and all of that. So I am very happy in that sense that we didn't announce anything. So yeah, in that sense we are fine, very fine. I am on one hand fine, on the other I'm kind of sad because it shows that we had the possibility of doing something, we didn't do it. So yeah, and also let me, what's okay, it didn't came. I don't know what happened. But aside from that, let me start with my beautiful apple so far. Because aside from these tiny nuances, everything else seems to be going fine. I think on stream sound, I didn't check the sound. Is it working properly? Do we have enough time for me to? Yeah, we have a very good sound, I think, compared to what it was before. I think it was, yeah, it was too late that something very funny happened. I started checking and I found that out of nowhere, this microphone was doing some crackling noises. So I had to restart my PC, I had to see some guides, I had to analyze what the fuck was happening. And it took me like an hour to fix it and to not truly fix it, to try and spend my time fixing that so that if it were to happen once again, because I think it isn't completely fixed, if it were to happen, it wouldn't be as bothering as it was before, basically. Not only that, also in the same realm of things, I added some filters extra and changed some values and added more gain, in general more things basically, because I wanted by itself to have a better audio than before. Because not that I was going to spend my time on that. Basically, yeah, I might as well say it like this. I spent like 20 minutes fixing the program itself of the cracking and the other 40 reading more guides, learning some more, and devoting time to have even more audio quality. Because at the end of the day, this microphone should have good audio. I don't know what the problem is right now. I think if I have to give it a name, I would guess it is probably because this needs like not the microphone itself, but my PC needs an audio plug thing that it doesn't have. And because of that existing problem, the audio itself that it gets from anywhere is very very bad. I haven't checked with that idea in mind my older bots, and I might just probably get kind of surprised with how much scuffness they carry around. But well, I am not really worried in that sense. And more than anything else, I am also very happy that at the very least I have the opportunity of streaming. So it is by itself amazing. Anyways, continuing and moving on to the more particularly interesting idea that is to doing a little bit of up and eating, to getting ready for the whole night, and basically to see how much we are going to devote this particular day to the things that we have to talk about. Because let me start with this idea. I was thinking, and I found that probably I won't have to. Even if I wanted, I don't think I have the possibility really of, so to speak, going for longer and longer hours of stream. Not particularly because there is anything bad, but rather because an existing problem is, you know what, I need to fix. What the fuck? Why did the mic beep? Sorry for that. Uh, as I was going to say, I need to spend my time doing not so light work. I have to use my time, as I said before, going for streams in which I engage in mental works, let's say like that. Mental gymnastics, because it isn't completely needed, but even if it isn't needed, we do it because by itself it ends up being, at least for me, satisfying. So we do that. On my particular side, as the one who does the most talking, I really notice how much it ends up making me kind of tired. In one sense, on the other, it isn't completely true because it is also a reality, let's say like this, that I do not engage so much in that much of hard things in particular. It is only in in a sense things that are very chill what we talk about here, and yet it still gives me a sense of darkness, I will say. But I guess even if I had the possibility, as I was going to say, I do not know how to take the reality itself of trying to go for longer and longer streams. I hope it comes, this whole thinking process becomes more of a habit that I can realize for longer hours and for more time the more I practice. Because I found myself after, particularly today, more than anything else, because it was a recent event, therefore I have the memory stem cells very fresh in my mind. Because of everything that happened today, I found myself really tired, and because of that, I decided to go here and to go here, to go end stream and to take a nap, to chill a little bit, to try and do the best of in my hand to basically pace myself down. And that whole thing was very, on one hand, beautiful, because I see it as if it weren't working, I wouldn't even have the necessity of chilling down, as one would say. When, on the other hand, because by itself, it shows that it is functioning, the art of, so to speak, resting is as equally important as it is the act of thinking in this particular manner. Because, well, in general, I would even add, it is a whole encompassing approach that we are kind of taking here. Because I do not talk it every single day, and I don't even know if I have talked about it specifically here on the stream that much. But I try my best to stay on shape and to take care of my health more than anything else. Because, no, yeah, I think I said it before. A healthy mind comes from a healthy body, and when that thing is also a reality, or you notice that taking care of those three things in a very broad way, because I wish it was as simple as, oh yeah, I am aware that I need to take care of myself, therefore I do it and I have an easy time. No, no. I wish it was as easy as that. In reality, it is. You notice that you need to take care of something. You develop the understanding as to how to take care of that. You also understand how you might as well harm your own efforts, or different things on life might give you, so to speak, a blockage on your development, whatever it is you are trying to go for. And by really understanding and by really having at mind those particular things existing and really being a thing that affects you, you have the possibility of working on the problems. It doesn't mean that you will solve them, because sometimes, even if you have the theory, the ways in which in reality, or so to speak, in practice, you solve the problems is different. So it isn't as easy as I said before, as, yeah, I need to take care of this thing, therefore I do it. It really feels tiring sometimes. And, well, I mean, at the end of the day, every single thing is rewarding because you do it and because you find the rewards yourself in this particular matter. It isn't that it is rewarding because the act itself is rewarding. You, as an individual, create a convincement to the degree as to which you want to commit to those actions. And I will even say like this. You as an individual also start creating the reality itself also. You know what? The more time you spend doing these particular things and the more time you really also spend working on your problems and analyzing them, gives you not only the edge but also the reality entirely of, you know what, you can really get to the places in which you desire to be in the future. Or you desire, at the very least, to not be so broad with what I said. In the palpable near moments, instances of reality that are going to come towards you, so to speak. And by doing all of those things, you really also have at hand and at mind more than anything else the comprehension and the analysis itself of when I when it is a given thing for me, I spend my time doing the things that I mentioned. And yeah, I guess I wanted to go for a kind of personal approach, but in this sense, it cannot avoid to, so to speak, touch on the idea of it is amazing to see how much every single one has the possibility of developing that. And in this particular sense, I would say that this particular potato is very well done, and it feels amazing to see. Not only that the individual that has those tools, but you can start to create those habits on others. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful, nice basically. But well, aside from that, I also have been spending some time with projects. I I wish I had a more clear way to see how much time I am spending on things that I do not enjoy. I would say because today I have like 2 or 3 things that I really wanted to do, and I mean it always boils down itself to the idea of as long as you understand the consequences of not doing the actions that are prioritary to you, you also have the possibility of start to work on them. That more than anything else, it isn't that you do the things that you want, or in this particular idea, so it isn't that you do the things that you want because you want to be better. It is more than anything else because that you fear being that bad things that end up happening, and you end up fearing the horribleness of the realities that end up becoming to you, and yeah, unraveling before your eyes when you do not do the things that are, so to speak, more important than what you are really crediting them for, let's say like that. Hmm. But I guess everybody has to deal with that, and everybody has also the necessity of being present minded on the things that happen, and then I guess it is always the desire to house the responsibility not only with yourself but also with others to say only the individual can. As we talked before, only the individual has the possibility of really instilling that fear on themselves. Because even if as a father, you understand, let's say, how damaging it is for your kid to not go to school, but the kid itself does not see that lack of action as something bad, it might as well try to fight as hard as it can against your desire. So yeah, this whole journey is weird by itself, but it isn't something that isn't enjoyable. It only has weird sides, but those specific weird sides are, in a sense, what end up making everything else enjoyable. Also, hello, welcome, welcome. But basically, that I guess it is weird to see that you always have the utmost responsibility of doing the things that you want. Let's say, and I guess I was engaging on those particular things that end up giving you the possibility of being good, or not being good, being in a in an enjoyable state, let's say, is weird because yeah, in this particular sense, it circles back to what we were talking today. It almost feels as if you were giving too much responsibility to the individual, when in reality, it is kind of the opposite. You are giving as much freedom as they want, and they, with that much freedom, decide what they do with their own lives. I will say. So basically, that enjoyment, pure enjoyment. That cut you off somewhat. Do you mean an ad on the AdSense? Ad as in other, ad basically ad, yes. Like yes. I mean, it isn't running. I think it was the what is it? The berry rolls or something like that. I think they are named because the next ads are starting in more than 10 minutes. So, I, as I always say, I'm trying to keep an eye on this particular. I don't want to get people surprised by ads that they have never seen before. But well, mm, I hope you didn't miss anything important. I was only saying, basically, happiness in itself, basically. That is the whole thing. I think it has been a great journey so far, and it feels weird to a particular thing. It feels weird to look back into this and seeing how much time has passed and how much time has been given us, in a sense in which we already find comfort in the things that we are doing. In a particular sense, it also feels weird to know that if you torture yourself, let's say that too much with things that are not important and are not relevant to your whole life, we will end up. Well, I think it is correct to say it because that is the real responsibility of the individual. To understand that you shouldn't be so harsh on yourself, no matter what the situation is. At the end of the day, yeah, I think I said it before, or if I didn't say it, at the very least, it is an important recurrent theme that we are going to touch on with the passage of time. Not only you shouldn't be harsh on others, on individuals, you should try to attack ideas, but never individuals. The same thing applies to you yourself. The ideas that you have are something that deserves to be completely destroyed, yes, but you yourself, the individual, should never not only give meaningless regards to things that are, so to speak, meaningless attacks, but also not let your own mentality get in the ways of you going for the things that you enjoy. I would say that. Because more than anything else, destroy destroy the what? Good question. I might as well have said too many things. I think it was you need to destroy the ideas. I think it was what I said. Do not worry, do not worry. But I was saying you need to destroy. Wait. Is there a crackling noise? I need to hear myself. Give me a second. Is there a crackling noise? Because if that is, it might as well be kind of worrying to know that it exists. Hmm. No. Oh yeah, okay, yes. It seems that they are working. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But well, as long as they are not so pricey, go for them. I mean, no real thing to add to that. Go for it, Rosman. As long as you feel like it is a worth inversion, do it. Even more, I guess, because you can't even hear correctly things, so even more because of that. But let me try to repeat what I said. Was you need to, so to speak, you need always to destroy the ideas, not destroy the individual, because the ideas are what end up damaging the individuals in this particular sense, and even more in the individual sense. You need to attack the ideas that are born from you in a manner in which I do not want to be completely replicant as to what I say, but I think a correct way to analyze it from another perspective is you never know how much you can evolve your already existing ideas and already existing views. So, if you engage, what? What? Thank you. What? What? Thank you. What? I you didn't follow this whole time. Thank you. Thank you, Roscoe. Okay. Mm. Oh wait. Maybe probably it was because sometimes I lost like the other day. I think I lost like 10 followers or something like that. It happens because Twitch gets rid of bots. So I guess it can confuse you with a bot. I guess I would say. I don't know completely how the reason, but I would give it that. At the end of the day, it has happened also to me. From yeah, I mean it is sad, but the thing that always needs to be taught is Twitch itself is very funky, so no real worries with that. No real problem. Because, yeah, basically, Twitch is funky, no worries. But wait, going back to what I was saying, I was of the tension itself of, as an individual, you should try always to become a better version of yourself. And I had a hard time putting that into words, and it kind of came to me right now when I was speaking about it. And it is the reason itself is because you know how bad things can get, therefore you shouldn't expect in the same manner as things. It should not evolve by themselves into a good order. The same things happen here, tend to happen here at the very least. And that is when you understand and when you see more than anything else that it is in your hands and that it is in your possible realm of influence, let's say, to analyze and to become a better version of you by also having in mind and also constantly developing your ideas. You also start to see in this regard basically the whole reality that kind of surrounds you. No real problems. I mean, I also have mono audio, so there shouldn't be that much of a worry. I would even say like this. It works more cinematically better, because this microphone is one of those that only has what is it mono audio. So if that was your whole worry, you might as well go check on other sites. Because yes, as I said before, this microphone is mono. It isn't that your own, in that sense, or in that case, your own speakers are broken, But well, I guess going back to what I was saying, it also comes to me as a good question, and that is how much should we accept that the individual is going to be willing to tackle the problems that they have in their lives? Because more than anything else, you shouldn't really think about yourself as somebody who could reach perfection. Um, well, I think, yeah, in that sense, it is kind of a falsehood. I would even dare to add, because it is true, nobody can reach perfection on one hand. On the other, it is also true that you can always strive to be better. And in the strive itself, you are becoming. No, it isn't that you are becoming. In the strive itself, you find ways in which it becomes a reality that you are slowly becoming better. And in this manner, going back to the other question that was, when will really anybody push themselves so hard? It is literally the same side of the coin as things are not going to evolve by themselves into a better state. If you really want things to happen, and if you really want to live in a society in which things work correctly, you shouldn't expect that, let's say like this, the rest of the world is going to give you tools for that to happen without any worry at all. You need rather to become an agent of creation for those elements to start becoming something that not only bleeds into reality itself, but also something that permeates the wholeness. Let's say like that. And also, give me a second because Rosebud, ads are starting soon. Ads are starting soon. Beware of the volume of your PC, just in case. Mm, But well, basically that. I mean, it is always a constant and necessary effort for you to realize, see, and have at the mind present the different the different aspects of reality and the realms of influence that you have. Because I kind of said it before, the maps of meaning give you a guidance towards how you need to work in those problems. Yes, but the realms of reality, in this case I would say, show you how much your influence really is part of this whole process, let's say like that, because the biggest facet of this, I would say, is the individual itself. You can influence yourself as much as you want, and as long as you keep trying to let influences existing on you, they will become a real. Let me try to say. But if you do not have that present in your head when you try to go for anything at all, you also do not really realize how much of an importance it adds to your wholeness. In that sense, mostly because I will even try to say, because it becomes unavoidability. The fact that per se nothing will really become better. And as long as you're willing to work for states to keep changing, they will change. But the moment you drop them, they might as well start not being any more influenced by you. Mm, I wouldn't completely say, for example, the idea of, you know what, you really need to have those, what is it? You really need to have and to hold in yourself the concepts and the ideas that become an existing, an integrated part of your reality, kind of saying, because they by themselves carry a lot of meaning. Rather, you need to work in an approach in which you really get anything out of it as long as you're willing to do it to wait to get anything going for yourself. Because if things are going to disappear the moment that you let go of them, you might as well have in your hand as much things in complete control as you can. In that same manner, it isn't that you should strive to have an stable life, but rather you should strive to have as much concepts as you have understood correctly. Because if you are going to need them in the future, you might as well develop a tendency to have them with you yourself instead of letting them be all dissipated in the vast sea of concepts that is the whole world in which we live in, I would say. So basically, that is the first idea, or more than an idea, kind of ramble, and a kind of random jumping from topic to topic ramble that we engage in because we were eating an apple. So now that I am done, let me get ready and let me clean myself. Let me go through the apple heart and all of that. And meanwhile, give me some. I don't think it will take me that much, but probably some minutes because oh yeah, I also wanted to have a little bit of water, and in this particular case, I will have to get a tissue because I have some, what is it, allergies and all of that. So give me some minutes. I will say one or two. Give me some time. Mm, not bad, but we have a not complete, but a kind of existing problem about this. I think I overheard the level I made sense while I was gone. Sorry, I had the microphone a little bit further from my mouth, sorry. I said, I think I developed the idea a little bit more than what I expected. More than anything else, because it really came. It is weird. It always feels. It comes to you without really any any visible way to grasp it correctly, I would say. And in this particular case, the act that you're engaging and you're analyzing things feels good because going back to the idea itself, what I wanted to say was when we left it on the idea of the humans should strive to have uh, as much tools as they can, and I kept developing that in the sense or in the realm of there is also something that happens in this sense, and that is you start to notice and you start to have in mind constantly how much of an important thing it becomes to you to really work in your different problems. Because in this manner, going a little bit crazy almost, reality itself is compiled of every single one's point of view, and as long as you have tools at hand to create as many wide and correctly spread points of view which you can in a community hold not only you but also others dear and not dear sorry steadily against the tribulations of life, you will keep deciding to have more and more concepts for which you will be ready to deal with whatever life throws at you in that kind of meaning that I was going for, in which thing life happens to you more than life simply becoming a reality that only exists, I would say. So, in this particular sense, it is also a possible and real thing that almost anybody should really have, not have, try to have at mind, let's see, that when you also notice that your point of view are going to be flawed, you need to have the constant development not only of you as an individual, but also those who are close to you to reach the wholeness of the view as much as your, even if they are every single one of them flawed. The what was it? The example of a very popular idea. I shouldn't need to explain that much, but a group of monks that are blind and incapable from moving of the places that they can only move their arms, is given an elephant, and they have never before interacted or might as well not even know what the concept of an elephant is, and only by not only having their own concepts of what they are touching and what they are, in a sense, getting from their own experiences, but also from reaching a communal conjunction of concepts, they come to the realization of what an elephant in this case really is. In this manner, it is kind of you need to have a scientific approach in which you need not only to test things but also to prove the other hypothesis that people has uh, in conjunction with those that you already have at hand and at mind. Because the utmost thing is always to have an easy time. And the more you develop, the more you not only see the possibilities of breaking the dam, so to speak, but also of having an even easier time in the future. As long as not only you yourself, but the wholeness of your community is willing to create that, I would say. So basically, that was the final point of the idea that I was going for. Because it isn't only a rambling top stream, so let me, as I might as well start moving on from that. Sorry, I'll spend like almost an hour on that particular train of thoughts. So let us finally start with the list itself. Meanwhile, let me do the first and most important thing, that is to create the timestamp, and that is 40, no, 49, Yes, there it is. And now, um, into the first topic of the night. Finally, sorry for taking so long. How to convert the mundane into the most interesting thing, I will say. Because I don't really know if it, I will stop worrying about it, sorry. I, the explanation itself comes. I have been thinking and I have been analyzing ways in which, preface of the topic, sorry, ways in which you can really have an easy time uh, transforming things that you will unavoidably have to deal with in your own life into things that will really give you, so to speak, a sense of reward as long as you're doing them. And basically, that is the whole preface, because more than anything else, it is it is hard by itself to be comprehended if we lack the proper introduction to it. So let me drink some water and we shall start with the first one of the night. Sorry for sorry for the break. Now, onto the topic itself. How to convert the mundane into the most interesting thing. We shall start with the number one priority, and that is, let's say like this, to understand you will always have to deal in your own life with things that will, at some point or another, not be enjoyable. And as long as you are capable of recognizing this kind of pattern that will end up presenting to you, and you also have in mind the reality itself, that is, you also have always the gift of seeing and transforming already existing things into states of not only bliss but also enjoyment that really give you a lot more than what you expected before, is really more than what you could ever wish. In a sense, not because it is by itself a bliss, but rather because when you work for those things to be a reality, and when you work for those particular elements to give you a sense and to give you a reward, so to speak, that really fulfills the desires and interests that come to your life, when you have all those things working and giving you something back, you also start to see kind of how the wholeness of this really becomes important, because it isn't that you can say and that you can be relaxed in your own place, or because I am working on the things that happen in my life, I have no obligation of understanding them and, so to speak, of also trying to have them as clear as I can to keep going forward, because it will be more explained on the next topic, that is letting things come to you. Nothing completely good will come to you as long as you're not putting the work. In this same manner, if you really think that because you're not worrying about things, so to speak, nothing worrisome will happen, it is kind of a falsehood which you need to get rid of more than anything else. As long as you're able to see that it is damaging your progress on things, you also start developing the idea itself of the mundane will bring you things that are more than. And when you have also the gift of, as I said before, transforming every single thing into something different in your own mind more than anything else, you also see the beautifulness of this, and that is when you grasp the concepts and the particular parts of this, so to speak, embedded, completely complex idea, that is, you might as well, because you know you have to deal with particular events in your life, start working on them for the sake of being yourself alive. One of the many ways in which you can do this, basically. Because you know that you will have to deal with this whole mundane subjects and with the whole, so to speak, more boring part of life, you also see how important it is for you, but specifically to start working on a manner in which you do not get bored of doing them. Because nobody could really say, I have the possibility of avoiding them. Therefore, if it is something that you know, and if it is something that you accept also, you should start to create in your own mind the concept and the acceptance of this particular idea, not for the sake of others, but for the sake of yourself. Because if you never give your own mind, so to speak, an alleviation out of the struggles that come from life itself, you will never be able to really enjoy your times through existence, and you will never be really able to carry yourself around in a way in which you will come accomplishing things. Because let's say like this, one of the most important part is no matter what you are going to work in, when you also have in mind that the mundane is present on every single aspect of life, you also see that it is something you need to accept, and it is something that you need to stop hating at the very least, in a sense in which it gives you a release from the heaviness itself and from the, so to speak, more than anything else in this particular manner, constraints that are not ensuring something that you will have to inevitably do. And I think that is a correct way to put it. I do not know if it is the most correct one, and more than anything else, I will have a hard time correctly assessing if we could have another way to say it. Because, for example, some people like to say it, that reality could be as much of an enjoyment as you want, in a sense in which you could stop doing things that are boring. And in one hand it is true, in one hand it is not true. You could not turn around your whole life and start doing every single thing that only gives you pleasure. Because the most pleasuring things are, so to speak, rewards that you get from doing, at the very minimum, not rewarding things. Or if they are completely pleasurous things, they come from an already existing effort to obtain those. For example, one of the most popular examples that always comes to my mind when I think about things like this is if you enjoy using your time on entertainment that is created only for the sake of distracting you of reality itself, or because it is based on things that might as well never happen to reality, that not even on the most minimum sense applicable to what you are going to go through, when you are spending your time on those, you are not getting not only a reward, you are simply being obfuscated, let's say, by something that feels rewarding. Because when you analyze it correctly enough, you also see that, in a sense, you are not even spending your time on something that you really want. Because see it from the other side of the coin. If you yourself were to observe from the outside that you are spending your time instead of doing things that are important for you or for your whole objectives in life, think that every single human has, as long as you're not spending your time on those and you distract yourself from them by things that give you no other reward than to simply say, I am entertained, you will almost, in a sense, run to you and start hitting you until you understood how important it is to leave those parts behind. Because, yes, sometimes we could even kind of convince ourselves that, you know what, it is incredibly good to distract and to not pay attention to the parts that end up being a reality and that end up being a part of who I am, what I have to deal with, anything like that. But if at the same time you do not accept that you will have to deal with things that are harmful to you, you only start to slowly, but at the same time, sadly, surely, close off the possibilities that life gives you of development in any other area. Because you decided, you know what, pain itself is not something I am willing to experience. Because I think I am above that, and because I want to use my time in a manner in which I will be able to say I did it correctly. And that is the saddest part of this. If you as an individual know that when you look back, you use your time unwisely, let's say, only you yourself can really hold yourself up to those expectations right now. So it is, in a sense, kind of uh, and instead of urgency on whoever hears this, because more than anything else, if you're gonna think that it applies to you, you might as well be wrong, because nobody is exempted from this reality, I would say. Whoever exists in this particular plane, whoever has to deal with life, is unequivocally going to have to deal with these things. Unless, as I said before, you are distracted from things that will never really give you anything aside from the pleasure itself of being distracted. So basically, I think that is a good place to end the idea. I think in this case. So let me let me do the timestamp itself. And let me also, which time is it? 1 hour, almost exactly the 1 hour mark. Well, I think I didn't spend that much time on this particular one, so at the very least, I'm happy with that. How much? 14, let's see. Yes, I thought correctly. Okay, there it is. We have already done with the first topic. We have 3 more topics to deal with yet. So, we're segueing, so to speak, into the second one, that is letting things come to you. In this particular sense, we are speaking, as I said before, it isn't that reality will happen out of nowhere and that you will never have to be worried about reality being something that will, so to speak, correctly exist. But rather, reality is always a change, and reality is in a predisposition manner, I would even try to say, tending to do things that you expect are already going to happen. So, in this case, and in this particular manner, into the topic itself, letting things come to you, we first and foremost start with the idea of anything that you do ends being replicated in your own life, because it isn't and it doesn't exist only for the sake of enjoyment, and it only, as well kind of I said before, it does not only become present for the sake of, you know what, I will have an easy time. I will put my efforts, so to speak, into things that will only give me the most amount of pleasure. No. Reality is embedded in experiences that needs to be codified into enjoyment for you. If in this particular manner you do not see that as something that has to be dealt with your own hands, you also will start to miss, in this sense, the things that have already been coming towards you for the sake of your own progress. Because when you understood what we said before, you also understand this next idea, and that is when you have the capacity of seeing every single thing to be something that you can take an advantage of, you also see how incredibly beneficial it is for you to start also working on whatever it is you need to, whatever might require your own time, whatever might really be, so to speak, crucial for your own development. And not because your own development is the only good thing, as what we kind of said before, the whole development of the individual becomes, so to speak, the most important aspect of the reality of the whole society. Because when you are developed and because when you have in your hand and in your mind the tools at hand to deal with any single event, you are also able to deal with the situation itself of giving those tools to others. So in this case, we are going for this, let's say like this, for the idea of, you know what, as long as you are willing to work on the things that you are lacking, and as long as you are willing to accept every single thing as an opportunity, you will start to see life in a new shine, I would try to say. Not because life can become complete happiness, but rather because the whole adventure of life is one in which the individual has as many possibilities as they are capable of seeing, of taking action. It isn't a place in which you could distract yourself, or you could kind of say, not see which place is the next one you should try to go for, in which land you should start to work with, in how many days you will get anywhere to. But in reality, it is the, so to speak, complete concept of, as long as you are aware that the experiences themselves that you go through will give you one reward or another, you only need to search for that, you will start to have an easier time. As I said before, the reason itself was already presented. The individual itself becomes better, and because the individual is better, the society benefits from that, and even more if the individual develops the tools of associating those already existing tools that the individual created on themselves, let's say, in a short manner. So yes, the more important idea is, as I said before, sorry, you need to create that predisposition, sorry, that predisposition in you to accept things in a manner in which they are not going to be harmful. And even if the events themselves are, so to speak, not completely enjoyable, as long as you're able to create diamonds out of every single, so to speak, whole and complete dark experience that happens in your life, you will end up being, in that same kind of example, a fabric and, so to speak, a factory that is capable of creating the most precious experiences in your own, so to speak, consumption of life. Let's say like that. Because yes, it is literally what I said before. It is in your hands to accept the reality in a manner in which it is not harmful. But it doesn't mean that it is your end. It rather reveals only how incredibly beautiful you can have it and how incredibly good you can take the approach to this concept, because the enjoyment of going through the experiences and the enjoyment itself that exists on no matter what you do and no matter how many times and so to speak same manners you try to go for, it will really let you be someone who is present and someone who is really acting upon those realities themselves. Because the most precious thing is always the possibility and the, so to speak, inherent value of your own interest on your own goodness, not on other things that are widespread, that are, so to speak, lost in the translation of your efforts, but mostly on your own self. Because, as I said before, a good individual becomes a crucial, so to speak, pillar of the whole society. So basically that. I think that is a good way to say it. Let me mark it down and move on to the next one. Because I don't think I have anything else to say in this particular one. And what I really, yeah, sorry. I have something to say, and this I need to make it that 10 minutes ago. How much time we have been going? Almost 1 hour and 8 minutes. Okay. I'm kind of worried because I don't know if it is that I'm going through the topics in a manner in which I am kind of accelerating the normal passage of time because I want to end it earlier, or I kind of feel like the ideas themselves are coming out in a way in which I enjoy it more naturally. I don't know. I will, from an outsider perspective, it really feels like I will might as well have to watch this particular board, because I hope what I am saying is comprehensible enough for whoever comes not only back to this, but who also those who are watching this in real time, because I will feel very, very sad to know that what I have been saying was so completely incoherent. Nobody really was able to take nothing out of what I said to them. But well, timestamp itself here, and now let me start moving on to the second, not to the third topic of today, and that is textbooks and their incredible capabilities. Because, so to speak, sorry, not topic itself, more like as we always do, a little bit of an introduction, a little bit of an explanation of what it means, the idea itself, In this particular manner, we have been kind of talking about the development of the individual. In this case, we are adding that not only to the tools that we already have at hand, the meaning of, what, your efforts are always going to be the most important thing. Also, in this case, we are going to add the pleasure itself of when you know and when you have in mind that as topic itself, textbooks are a tool that carries knowledge and are a tool that gives you the possibility of having even more tools you yourself than what you could have ever expected. When you have those two things, so to speak, clear in your own mind, you also have the possibility, more than anything else, of really saying, you know what, I enjoy what is happening. And I enjoy not only the experience itself, but also the whole travel that it is to go through this, so to speak, complete revelation that becomes the desires and the inner workings of my own self growth. Also, in this sense, to understand and to integrate into my own persona in a manner in which we are using persona not as in actor, but rather as an individual who is acknowledge about their responsibility with reality itself or with society at least. Sorry, continue. When you understand that the tools that were already deployed in front of you and that are already present for you to take advantage of them exist for the sole purpose of giving you an easier time in your own life and kind of, as we have been talking before, kind of giving you an even bigger edge toward or against those who are not using that time kind of wisely doing this. You also see not that this becomes a race in which you have more opportunities than others, but rather it becomes a wondrous experience in which you also find yourself immersed, because when you compare you with your past self, which didn't have so many beautiful things at hand and which didn't also have the opportunities of really going through so many things that not only you but also those who you might as well not even think but be constantly analyzing if they have, so to speak, what? What? 11 hours? What? Hello, Spike. Hello, Spike. What? 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 What the fuck? I don't know. It's everything okay, but kind of vague, oh yeah, please. No, what? Sorry for that. That was meaningful of me. Well, so far we have been. I think you have. I hope you have been very fine. We have been going through the topic list, as you can see on screen. I think it is shown. We have been already covered. We have been we have already covered the first and second topic. We are on the fifth one, that is how textbooks kind of work and why they have incredible capabilities. Because in this particular stream, I think we were going more than anything else for the idea of how the individual is an important role player in a sense of how much of an importance the whole individual has in the society, and in this case, how much you yourself as the individual can also learn, not only from your own experiences, but in this case, topic itself, how much textbooks can give to you. Because why would a simple compilation of words have any meaning at all when you do not find it to be, so to speak, meaningful? You really see it to be kind of enjoyable, and you really see that it is something that you can spend your time on, so to speak, when you start working and observing that it carries more than anything else the knowledge not only of those who had similar lives but also of those who went through similar problems. And that is by itself the biggest tool that nobody could ever have. Because if you see it from an outsider perspective, in a manner in which you alienate yourself from the whole reality that you are living, let's say, you see that somebody having a problem, and somebody else gives them a tool in which they can solve a problem. As long as they put that particular thing into practice, the problem itself becomes not only something lesser, but sometimes something completely disregarded. Because think about it this way, the beautifulness of living in a society in which we encourage each other in a manner in which we see that it is beautiful enough not only to work for ourselves but also for others. We have so many tools at our hand that in this particular case we are going for the idea of textbooks, but in reality there is so much media that can give you an understanding of ways to solve your problems that as long as you're capable of leaving behind the most helpful thing that stops you from progressing in this particular sense, that is the ego that ties you down to the understanding of because my problem is completely unique and because my problem is something that only I myself could deal with and because my problem is completely better than my particular life, as long as you understand those things to be something that is only holding you back, you see in, as I have been saying, in this kind of media a tool that might as well give you an edge completely incomparable with what anybody else could be to you. Because when you have the possibility of observing how others use tools in a kind of added way, you also have the possibility of assessing how not only you will implement it in your own reality, but how you can make it better for your specific event, for your specificality, so to speak. Because that is also the beautiful thing of life. Even if we have sometimes events that are very similar, the manner in which they ended up unraveling in front of us is unique by itself. But if the tools are similar, it doesn't mean that they are not unique. It only means that they have similarities so beautifully unique to them. The wholeness of the array of tools that we have at our own disposal becomes only greater with time. Basically, that I think in general it is kind of unavoidable. Before going the next going to the last topic, it is kind of unavoidable because when you really work to see a reality this way, you also notice how much of a possibility you always have of not only reaching a state in which you're kind of higher, not because you're higher, so to speak, you're more intelligent than others. No, because you're higher in a state of happiness and abundance in the sense uh, in which you notice how much you always have the possibility of solving the problems that appear in your own life, the most important and crucial thing for every single individual. Because after that, you also start developing the sense and how the fuck did it connect so well. The next topic, how hard it really is to help others. The sense of helping others, basically. So let me make the timestamp before I continue wandering off about the last topic. Holy shit, I am ashamed now. Sorry for being egotistical. I try my best, but I cannot hold myself back. I tried, but I failed horribly. But at the very least, shot. What the fuck? I don't know. It almost crashed my PC. Beautiful. Um, there we have it. We have the last topic of the day. Also, shit, I forgot to. Okay, we should have it correctly on the screen. Let me check. Because in this particular manner, this idea comes more than anything else, not only from the realization of use yourself of what are the things you might as well keep working on, but also of when you accomplish the most satisfactory thing that will happen only to you, that is to solve every single problem that arises in your own particularity, you also find it a possibility, and at that a beautiful one, to start helping others with the things that they are having to deal with. And the question at hand in this case, the topic itself, is how hard it really is to help others, because it becomes really clear when you are only starting in this path, so to speak, that it is not the easiest thing. Let's say like that. So, let me, after drinking some beautiful water, let me start with the final idea. The first thing you need to understand, thing that is a constant in life, nothing will be easy. No matter what you do, nothing will be easy. Only if, or not only, if the outcome seems to be something good, it only means that the efforts you are putting are rewarded enough. And if the efforts seem to be easy, it means sometimes that unless you're really a professional at what you're doing, it might as well have an, so to speak, double edge that you're ignoring, or that you're not ignoring in the sense of not knowing it is there. You are deciding to ignore consciously, because sometimes we really like to do that when we are not aware of, as I said before, how much it hurts to have these negative things affecting your life. So, as long as you understand that life will never be easy, it becomes kind of very clear the response to this question. How hard it will be for you to be a beneficial thing to others, and for you to give others what they would really not only desire but be grateful of, is only proven to be, so to speak, as hard as you are willing to make. More so because a lot of times a funny particular thing that happens is when we work in an environment in which individuals tend to disregard their own problems as something that might as well not really be important enough, it also becomes a beautiful reality that if you were to drop the action itself of helping others, the individuals almost never really wish for you to come back to them. You really need to push yourself into the life of others for them to receive a change in this particular case, and for them to really, in this same manner that you have been speaking, not in a completely egotistical one, to be someone who really shows others tools that end up being helpful for them. In this particular manner, and in this particular idea, the most abundant thing is, as long as you're willing to use your time in a manner in which you give others something back from their simple act of engaging with you in whatever you're sometimes forcing, sometimes simply letting them experience in a manner in which you accept that, the ride itself will be as hard as you are willing to make it. And in this case, it might as well be a kind of misconception, because hard doesn't mean something that you will not enjoy. Hard only means something that will take time and will take preparation and readiness from you to be dealt with. That is the most clear thing in this particular case, because if you are not willing to use your time, you can always drop it. But on the other end of this, as long as you're never willing to really drop your desire to help others, it will end up manifesting itself into reality, no matter who it is, no matter how much time it will take, as long as it is kind of a common expression here, as long as you do not get your own spirit down, you will triumph no matter how much you will have to struggle. And I think that is the final idea of today. Because adding even more kind of removes the meaning itself of this particular one. I would say this one really is short, because mostly it is the biggest encouragement I could try to give. in this particular message of today. It isn't like only big encouragement somebody could ever receive. But yeah, basically that's it for today. Beautiful, I mean, beautiful. And also, I didn't notice. I mistyped the last time that I did. That is what is really also beautiful because I will have to deal with my own problem in the when I have to create the timestamps, things that I have been doing kind of consistently, not completely, but kind of consistently. So well, let me this time for sure make the final timestamp, and well, I think we are going to end it here. I think. Let me see. As always, also, it is a pleasure to be here. It is a pleasure to use the time in my life to do this particular project and to keep advancing on whatever it is we're going over here. Because, as always, it is not my own pleasure that gets fulfilled. It is also the enjoyment of those who find something interesting enough to stick to this message that also gives me more than enough encouragement. So to speak, kind of on a very personal note, it feels as if kind of the knowledge that it is good enough by itself gives me even more courage to keep going that whatever else happens with the whole, so to speak, bad side of things. Because at the end of the day, even if there are things that do not completely work in our favor, because we keep going, it feels beautiful. So yes, as always, but well, not as always in this particular occasion, thanks to lurkers, thanks to our dear bot watchers, thanks to every single one, in particular today to Spike Please, and I think there is nobody else, right? Yeah, well, just in case to the bot for finally working and for myself for being here, because that's it for today. We might as well end it here and take a rest of the mind, because even if everything is blissful and even if everything is amazing, it also is importantly amazing also to take care of oneself. So sleep tight, take care of yourself, and remember to never let yourself go down, because the one who really can show you the biggest hope is you. Nobody else can really or should really try to destroy you, but you, and never do it for the wrong means, only for the sake of becoming even better than before. So that's it for today. Stop streaming.